He's also got what look like ready-made sheets of colored paper receding into infinity, right? He employed a sign painter, a commercial painter, to paint into his work a finger pointing, right? We call that the index finger, right? For a reason, because it points. So that's an indexical sign, an icon of an index, an image of an index finger. And what is that finger pointing to but a white sheet of paper? Ta-da! Oh, why am I such a goofy? You get it? So, right. 1918. 2 million. Ellsworth Kelly in Paris in the late 40s and early 50s, in part responding to the prevailing modern ideology of geometric abstract painting. The whole idea of it being transcendent, rational, emerging from the artist's mind, this wholly cognitive, mental exercise, and most especially a kind of painting that is absolutely composed, right? But that's what, there's Mondrian, right? I mean, what did Mondrian do, right? But produce one painting after another that was a minor variation on all the others, in which the project seemed to have been in part this careful, ongoing modulation of the thickness of the black lines, their spacing from each other, where to place the primary colors of red, yellow, and blue, right? All of this supposedly pointing to a highly rational, ordered, and utterly artistically composed kind of work. And so that's in large part what Ellsworth Kelly is responding to. This is what he's seeing over in Europe, and this is what he's responding to by trying to work out of, right? So these are a couple different works from around 1950 that he understood as part of his experiment, part of his project, to create what he called non-composition or anti-composition works. I've already talked a little bit about this in the tutorial, but I want to go over it a little bit more in more detail. Clearly, there's still the presence of what we would call geometric abstraction. That's undeniable. But in this case, it's not a geometric abstraction that originates, or supposedly originates, in the artist's mind, let's say. But in fact is a geometric abstraction that Ellsworth Kelly, as artist, found in the material built and the natural world, in objects, in structures, in shadows, etc. Right? So part of what he is doing is attuning himself to the fact that, even if we looked around this room, we could see compositions, geometric abstractions, right? Look at that over there, or here, right? It's everywhere. Back there. That means that for Kelly, geometric abstraction was ready-made. He didn't have to create it. He didn't have to, in particular, compose it. It was already composed. He just needed to, we might say, transpose it from its existence out there in the world to the canvas. These works then are different from Duchamp's ready-mades because in the case of Ellsworth Kelly, his works persist in the domain of artistic fabrication. He's still making something, paintings and drawings. Albeit, works that are interested in eliminating nearly all signs of the artist's individual presence and gesture. Nonetheless, like the ready-made, they too are based upon these random and chance encounters. That is, just finding the abstraction, geometric abstraction out there in the world, simply selecting it, choosing it, making the decision to transpose it. And in the transposition, trying not to mess with it, right? Trying not to get in there as an artist and do anything, to try to leave it just as he found it. And how, over the course of these 6 years, he struggled so much with that problem. So again, this idea that we've encountered before with Rauschenberg of leaving the thing as is, which in this case is to say already made and non-composed. And yet, for the work to have an actual, yet often, as we see here, right, unrecognizable and indiscernible relation to the material world. It is based upon something out there. He saw it and he transposed it, but sometimes in these works, the referential quality of the index is lost. And unless you're told what these things are referring to, you may never be able to guess. So they're abstract, yet interestingly, continue to have an actual relation, even though we sometimes can't tell what that relation is, to things in the world, but without revealed reference or visual representation. We might say then that they are an index without sign or symbol. And they're very much painting as object. In fact, Ellsworth Kelly went so far as to say that when he discovered non-composition and began to make these works, for him, painting was over.